Om 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 Sahana Vavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Om Vyasaya Vishnu Rupaya Vyasa Rupaya Vishnave Namo Vai Brahma Nidhaye Vasishtaya Namo Namaha Om Sada Shiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidwaram Sadgurum Brahma Vidwaram Om Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha Om Hari Om. So we are in the 11th verse of PurushottamaYoga, the yoga of the Supreme Self. Bhagavan Shri Krishna was explaining yesterday, Evam Devagatam Dehagatam Dehat. How the individual being, that the prana, the mind with all the sense organs, and all the patterns or vasanas that were gathered during many lifetimes and the present lifetime also, everything together, Vayu Gandhaniva Ashayat, as if the fragrance of the flowers is moving along with the wind. In the same way, these patterns move along with the individual body as soon as the next body has been finalized. It leaves this body, the present one, at the time of death. Kechittu, other people, yatanto yoginas chainam pasyantyatmanyavasthitam yatantopyakritatmanaha nainam pashyantya chetasah yatantaha yoginaha cha enam. Yatantaha means prayatnam kurvantaha, the one who strives. Who strives? Yoginaha, the yogis. Samahita chitta enam prakritam atmanam pashyanti. With an integrated mind, they see this atmanam, this self, ayam, aham asmi iti upalabhante, atmani swasyam buddhau avasthitam. So the person who has got an integrated mind, a yogi, he sits quietly and he sees the self. Upalabhante, atmani swasyam, he identifies himself as that self I am. That's a final identification. Buddha avasthitam, and being his own intellect. Yatantaha api shastradi pramanaihi akritatmanaha asamskrita atmanaha tapasa indriya jayena cha dushcharitat anuparata ashanta darpatmanaha prayatnam kurvantaha api na yenam pashyanti achetasaha avivekinaha. Yatantaha api, even if that person is striving to see the self or identify himself with the self, but if their minds are shastradi pramanaihi, through the means shown by the shastras, if the mind has not been cultured, if the mind has not become tempered, a samskrita atmanaha, a mind that is not integrated by tapas and indriya jaya, austerity and control of the senses, and also dushcharitata anuparata, the mind has not been withdrawn from pursuing false goals and wrong values. Ashanta darpatmana, Ashanta, there is no peace in that mind, and there is a lot of arrogance and pride in that mind also. Prayatnam kurvantaha api na yenam pashyanti achetasaha avivekinaha. Since that person is not a viveki, he does not know the difference between what is the self and what is not the self. Achetasaha, he does not have any consciousness in his thoughts. Avivekinaha, he is not having any discrimination. Even if he strives, prayatnam kurvantaha api na yenam pashyanti, that person does not see the self. Yat padam sarvasya avabhasakam api ajnadityadikam jyotihi na avabhasayate yat praptaha cha mumukshavaha punaha samsara abhimukha na nivartante yasya cha padasya upadhi bhedam anuvidhiyamana jiva घटाकाशादयः इव आकाशस्य अंशाः तस्य पदस्य सर्वात्मत्वं सर्वव्यवहार आस्पदत्वं च विवक्षुः चतुर्भिः श्लोकैः विभूति संक्षेपम् आह Bhagavan. So what is that place from where these people who strive to reach there, they do not return? Yat padam sarvasya avapasakam api Ajnadityadikam jyotihi na avabhasayate. That space of consciousness, that space of awareness, which reveals everything for us, which reveals our thoughts, our emotions, our feelings, and all the sense or objects that are imprinted in the screen of the mind, are being made aware of by this, but that cannot be made. That cannot be shown by even the sun, the moon, and the light of fire. Yat praptaha cha mumukshavaha punaha samsara abhimukha na nivartante. Having reached that space of consciousness, the mumukshu, or the one who strives after liberation, does not come back and face samsara. Samsara abhimukha means he does not come back and face modification and change. Yasya cha padasya upadhi bhedam. That space of consciousness, anuvidhiyamana jiva. There are no upadhis, there are no limitations in that place. Like gata akashayaha, iva akashasya amshaha. Just like as there is space within the pot, is the very same space that is without the pot. The space within the pot is an aspect of the space without the pot, around the pot. Amshaha. Tasya padasya sarvatmatvam sarva vyavahara aspadatvam cha vivakshuhu. So that space of consciousness, sarvatmatvam means which is present everywhere, and sarva vyavahara, all transactions are happening in that space of consciousness. I'm moving my hand from here. There is awareness that is present in the whole movement. So that is that consciousness. Sarva vyavahara aspadatvam, where all transactions are happening. Cha vivakshuhu. It is being explained very clearly. Chaturbihi shlokaihi vibhuti samkshepam aha Bhagavan. In 4 shlokas, the vibhuti, the way in which it is being manifest, Bhagavan is narrating to us. The 12th verse, Yadadityagatam tejaha jagadbhasayate khilam yachandramasi yachagno tattejo vidhi mamakam. Yat adityagatam tejaha, that light which is there in the sun, which shines in the sun, jagat bhasayate akhilam, that light of the sun is shining its brightness all around the earth, all around the world that we see. Yat chandramasi, that light of the moon, which is also shining at night, Yacha Agnav, that light of the fire, which also shines, Tat Tejaha Vidhi Mamakam, that light belongs to me. Know that that light belongs to me. Yat Aditya Gatam Aditya Ashrayam Kim Tat Tejaha Diptihi Prakashaha Jagat Bhasayate Prakashayati Akilam Samastam. That light of the sun, the tejas, the deepti, the prakasha, the glory of that light, which shines on this world completely, samastam, the whole world, yat chandramasi shashabhriti tejaha avabhasakam vartate. That light of the moon, which is also shining at the time the moon rises, yat cha agnav hutavahe tat tejaha vidhi. That Agni, which is being lit up in that sacrificial fire, that light of that fire also, Vidhi Vijanihi Mamakam Madiyam Mama Vishnoho Tat Jyotihi. That light belongs to me, means that light belongs to consciousness. Myself, Vishnu, Vyapakatvat iti Vishnuhu. That which is present everywhere and in everything is that Vishnu. Athava yad adityagatam tejaha chaitanya atmakam jyotihi yat chandramasi yach agnav tat tejaha vidhi mamakam madhiyam mama vishnohu tat jyotihi. Then the Purva Pakshi is asking, Nanu stavareshu jangameshu cha tat samanam chaitanyatmakam jyotihi tatra katham idam Visheshanam yat adityagatam ityadi. Now there is that light in all the animals and all the plants also, but then why is it specially shown that it is adityagatam and the light of the sun and light of the moon? Why is it being explained here? Every object has got that light of consciousness and the light of awareness, like plants, animals, everything. Then why is a special mention made about the sun? Na yesha doshaha. There is nothing wrong in this. Sattva adhikyat adhikya upapattehe. Because there is an increased presence of sattva. Sat means that which gives joy. Completely something that is one gives us joy. The ocean gives us joy. The sky gives us joy. The fire gives us joy because there is the presence of that oneness. But here in this case, Adityadishu hi sattvam atyanta prakasham atyanta bhaswaram ataha tatra eva avistaram jyotihi iti tad vishishyate. In the sun, there is extreme levels of brightness and there is extreme level of brilliance. And that is why it is Adityagatam Jyotihi. The light of the sun is being mentioned. Natu tatra eva tat adhikam iti. There is nothing else. It is not that because the light of the sun is more than the light of anything else, but the light of the sun is extremely reflected. The light is extremely reflected in the sun than in other objects. So Bhagavan Adi Sankaracharya is going to give us a beautiful example. Yatha hi loke tulye api mukha samsthane na kashta kudyadav mukham आविर्भवति आदर्शादौ तु स्वच्छे स्वच्छतरे च तारतम्येन आविर्भवति तद्वत्. Just as our face is not reflected in a plank of wood, or it is not reflected on a wall. You cannot see our face on the wall, but the face can be seen in a very clear mirror and an even clearer mirror according to its levels of clarity. The face is reflected in the mirror. In the same way, the light of consciousness is not reflected much in objects because they don't have the capacity to reflect that consciousness, whereas in the sun it is completely reflected. Just like how our face is reflected in a very clear plane of glass. Like for example, if I see this glass on which this Bhagavad Gita is there, the face will not be reflected so clearly. But when I see on a real plain mirror glass, the face is reflected very clearly. Avatarika, Kimcha, another introduction. Gama cha bhutani dharayamyahmojasa pushnami chaushadhi sarvaha somo bhutva rasatmakaha. Gam avishya cha bhutani. I am entering into the earth and dharayami aham ojasa. By my own strength, by my own power and my own tejas, I am holding this earth in space. So who is that is holding this earth in space? It is consciousness, the power of consciousness that is holding this earth in space. Pushnami cha aushadhihi sarvaha. And not only just holding the earth, but in the earth there are many medicinal plants, including our rice. Every plant is a medicinal plant. Nasti aushadhi na aushadhi. There is no plant in this world that is not a medicine. Pushnami cha aushadhihi sarvaha. I nourish all the plants and herbs. So how do I nourish? Somo bhutva rasatmakaha. I become the moon and I turn into rasa. I turn into juice, the nourishing juice, and I nourish all plants with energy. Gam prithvim avishya. I enter this earth. Pravishya dharayami. I bear. Bhutani jagat aham ojasa balena yat. With a lot of strength, with a lot of ojas, I bear this earth. I bear this earth means I bear all the life in this earth. Ojasa balena yat balam kamaraga vivarjitam aishwaram jagat vidharanaya prithvyam pravishtam yena gavim prithvim na adaha patati na vidiryate cha. Because of my presence, this earth does not fall down. And also, what is my strength? I do not have karma. I do not have any desires for myself. I do not have any attachment also. I am free of that. Aishwaram, but I am a Lord. I am the Master. Jagat Vidharanaya. For the sake of bearing this world, Prithvyam Pravishtam, I entered into this earth. Yena Gurvi Prithvi na adaha patati. Na vidiri. There is a lot of science involved in this. So Bhagavan says, the consciousness has entered into this earth so that this heavy earth does not fall further than where it is right now. So who is the one who is holding up the earth in its place? That is consciousness, that is prana. Tathacha mantra varnaha yena dyaur ugra prithvi cha dridha sa dad iti sa dadhara prithvim. Taitriya Samhita. These two lines are from Taitriya Samhita. Ityadihi cha ato gam avishya cha bhutani characharani dharayami iti yuktam uktam. So it is appropriate to say that I enter into this earth, that consciousness, that life force has entered into this earth, and chara acharani, not only the earth is in place, but whatever is moving and what is not moving, I hold it in place. Iti yuktam uktam. It is proper to say it in this manner. Kimcha prithvyam jata oshadhihi sarva vrihi yavadayaha pushnami pushtimati rasaswadumati hicha mati hicha karomi somaha bhutva rasatmakaha somaha sarva rasatmakaha rasasvabhavaha sarva rasanam akaraha somaha sahi sarva aushadhihi swatma rasanu praveshena pushnati. By becoming the rasa, by becoming the juice of all the plants, all the herbs, I nourish them like the aushadhis, all the medicinal herbs, sarva vrihi yavadayaha, like barley, maize and other things, pushnami, pushtimati, rasaswadumati, chikaromi. Pushnami means I energize them. In every thing that we have that grows on earth, you take it, there's some kind of a juice that comes out. That is the energy of Ishvara. That's the energy of Bhagavan. Somo bhutva rasatmakaha. Whose soma is the moon, but soma here means the water that is created by the presence of the moon. The activities of the ocean, the rise and the fall of the ocean, and the suction of the water, the condensation, and raining, everything is happening because of the presence of the moon also. Somaha sahi sarva oshadhihi swatmarasa anupraveshena pushnati. Swatmarasa means that individual essence of one's one being. For example, if you take a tomato, there is a very beautiful rasa or essence inside that. You take a mosambi, or you take an orange, you take an apple, you take a banana, any fruit that you take, there is some kind of a juice that is present as the essence of the fruit. That essence is Ishvara. That essence is Ishvara nourishing that fruit or that vegetable. In the body, how am I? Kimcha, furthermore, in every human body, in what form am I? Aham Vaishvanaro Bhutva Praninam Dehamashritah Pranapana Samayuktaha Pacham Yannam Chaturvidham. Aham, I, Eva Vaishvanara Udarasthaha Agnihi Bhutva. I am the fire, the digestive fire in the abdomen. Bhutva. I am Agnir Vaishvanaraha Yoyam Antaha Purushe Yenedam Annam Pachyate. Brihadaranya Upanishad says, Ityadi Shrutehe Vaishvanaraha san Praninam Pranavatam Degam Ashritaha Pravishtaha Prana Apana Samayuktaha Pranapanabhyam Samayuktaha Samyuktaha Pachami Paktim Karomi Chaturvidham Chatushprakaram Annam Ashanam Ashanam Bhojyam Bhakshyam Choshyam Lekyam cha. Ashanam Annam Ashanam Bhojyam Bhakshyam Chosham Lekyam cha. How many beautiful things are being explained in this verse. I am that digestive fire which resides in the abdomen, in the stomach. Yenedam annam pachyate. That which cooks the food in the stomach. Ityadi shrutehe Vaishvanaraha san. I am that Vaishvanara. Praninam Pranavatam Deham Ashritaha. I am dependent on this body. I am residing in this body. Pravishtaha. Then what do I do? Prana Apana Samayuktaha. I unite prana and apana. Prana apanabhyam samayukta samyuktaha pachami. I cook. What do I cook? Paktim karomi. Chaturvidam. Chatushprakaram. 4 types of food I cook in the stomach. Annam ashanam. That food which is eaten, I cook. How do I cook? Bhojyam. Taking a little bit and putting it in the mouth. No? And just taking it inside. Like how we take a idli or maybe something very soft which does not need any biting. That is called bhojyam, taking it and putting it in the mouth. Bhakshyam, that which involves a lot of chewing and biting. Choshyam, that is which is sucked in like a straw. You just take it inside you with some kind of an equipment, or even putting your mouth and drawing it inside. Choshyam. Lekyam is licking something, taking it like avaleha. Avaleha is the pickle. You don't eat pickle. You don't take it and eat it and chew it. You take a little bit of it and put it in the tongue and then lick it up. That is how it is eaten. So these are the 4 types of foods, the 4 types of ways by which we eat food, and all the 4 types are being digested by this digestive fire called Vaishvanaraha. Bhokta Vaishvanaraha Agnihi, the one who is the Bhokta or the enjoyer is that Agni Vaishwanara. Bhojyam Annam Somaha, that which is being taken, that Annam, that rice or food is Soma, meaning the content of water is there in it. Tatri etat ubhayam Agni Shomau Sarvam iti pashyataha Annadosha lepaha na bhavati. So the one who sees that everything in this world that we eat is both fire and soma, Agni and soma, the one who starts to recognize that does not suffer any kind of a problem owing to this dosha or some deficiencies in food. When with our consciousness, whenever we eat something, we are able to see that I am taking in fire and I am taking in water into me, Agni and Soma. Such a person does not have any problems caused by the food that enters in. Kimcha, furthermore, sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishtaha matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha vedaischa sarvaihi ahameva vedyaha vedanta kritveda videva chaham sarvasya pranijatasya aham atma san hridi buddhau sannivishtaha. In all beings, I, the self, am in the heart. Heart means in that feeling center, where the thoughts and feelings are gurgling up. In that space, I am Atma. Sannivishtaha, I am settled very firmly there. Ataha, mattaha atmanaha sarva praninam smritihi jnanam tad apohanam cha. Only from me does everybody, all beings, get smriti. Smriti means memory, that is knowledge, and apohanam is erasure of that knowledge. So when do we get knowledge and when is that knowledge erased? Esham punyakarminam punyakarma anurodhena jnana smriti bhavataha. So how does one get this knowledge or good memory? When they do punyakarma, they get very good memories. They get a lot of intuitive thoughts. Jnana smriti bhavataha tatha papakarminam papakarma anurupena smritir jnanayoho apohanam cha apayanam apagamanam cha. So if one person has done a lot of sins in terms of thinking unwanted things, doing unwanted actions, and speaking unwanted words, these are all called sins. When more of that is done, that is when we have memory. We have memory loss. We don't get to remember anything at all because the mind is clouded with the result of those sinful actions. So Bhagavan says, I am only that memory and knowledge. I am only the erasure of the knowledge in a person who is sinful. Sinful means a very disturbed mind. That's all. Nothing, not because of any particular actions. If our mind is disturbed, then there's a lot of papa. And how can it be set right? By quietening the mind and by purifying the mind. It's as simple as that. Vedaihi cha sarvaihi ahameva paramatma vedaha veditavyaha vedanta krita. So by all the Vedas, by all the books of knowledge, what is it that needs to be known? I alone. That Paramatma, that Supreme Self needs to be known. Vedanta krita. Vedanta artha sampradaya krita ityartaha. Vedanta krita means I have given the Vedanta. No. The meaning of the Vedanta is being provided by a sampradaya of a lineage of gurus to the disciples. And I have only created that lineage. Vedavit, Vedarthavit, eva cha aham. I am the knower of the Vedas and I am also the knower of the meaning of the Vedas, the essence of the Vedas. Vedavit, Vedarthavit, eva cha aham. Bhagavata Ishwarasya Narayanakyasya Vibhuti Samkshepa Uktaha Vishishta Upadhi Kritaha Yad Adityagatam Tejaha Ityadina. By the verses Yat Adityagatam Tejaha, these verses, Bhagavata Ishwarasya Narayana Akyasya Vibhuti Samkshepa Uktaha. The glory of Narayana, the word glory of Bhagavan, Ishvara, has been spelt out in these 4 verses. Vishishta Upadhi Kritaha. It is all the special adjuncts of that Narayana, like Vaishvanara and Yad Adityagatam Tejaha Jagat Bhasayate Kilam Sarvasya Chaham Hrudi Sannivishtaha Mattasmriti Jnanam Apohanam Cha Gama Vishyacha Bhutani Dharayami Aham Ojasa. The qualities of that self are being described here. And Atha Aduna Tasya Eva Sharaksharopadhi Pravibhaktataya Nirupadhikasya Kevalasya Swarupa Nirdharana Yeshaya Uttara Shloka Arabhyante Tatra Sarvam Eva Atita Anagata Anantara Adhyayartha Jatam Tridha Rashi Kritya Iti Aha. So all the meanings that are going to be spelled out in the next 3 chapters, chapter 16, 17 and 18, after which we conclude this Srimad Bhagavad Gita in the next 3 months after beginning, like it would have gone on for 1.5 years now. Sharam Aksharam, these upadhis have been earlier spelled out separately, and the Shuddha Paramatma Swarupa has been spelled out in these chapters, in these coming verses, and after that everything is being explained in the next 3 chapters, 16, 17 and 18. Everything is being explained in a threesome manner. It is all 3, 3, 3, and until the end of the chapter. So we will see from the 16th to the end of this chapter tomorrow. Om Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu, Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu, Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu, Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha, Sarve Santu Niramayaha, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kasyid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet, Om Asatoma Sadgamaya, Tamasorma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya, Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Bole Shri Sadgurunath Maharaj Ki Jai. Har Namah Parvati Pataye. Hara Hara Mahadeva. Hari Om.